are large organizations, and how do you kind of really define large? But you're right when you say that smaller organizations typically have not been able to um, understand or maybe leverage the apprentice model. We've been able to leverage the NAPS model very effectively. But yes, Sumit, there is an assumption amongst smaller businesses, and my discussions that, and I keep discussing about these things with in my HR, fraternity, in my HR community, and I think there is an assumption amongst smaller businesses about apprentices taking time to get to speed. Okay, one, and two, there are a lot of people who still do not know that this is something that they could leverage. Now, again, I think these are the two reasons why, there is maybe a relatively slower adoption. But I think that trend is changing now, Sumit. So, I think until now, apprentices were associated with manufacturing, production.
Yeah.
Today, I think with most of the business traction happening around, let us say, startups today, e-commerce, small tech firms, and all of these industries are hungry for manpower, right? I mean, these are industries that are staring at a 30-35% manpower churn. And at the same time, they are looking at seamless business continuity. So when you have that kind of a manpower churn, replacements, when you have a 30%, 35% kind of an attrition, and you would like to, which means that you are literally building a new organization every 3 years. Okay. There is always a keenness to understand how one could very quickly staff and support businesses. So I think companies now are looking at all different avenues, including NAPS, including the apprenticeship schemes that are available today. And also what used to be something associated with, what do you call, a machinist or a mechanic's kind of a role has now successfully grown into roles like, verification and validation, data entry, mobility. I mean, we hire a lot of, people under NAP scheme who help us with back office, roles, verification and validation roles, KYC roles, etc. So industries like ITES, pharma, e-commerce. I mean, I think these are all companies that are now slowly warming up to the apprenticeship models. I think the smaller companies are going for apprentices, albeit their acceptance could be always further enhanced. But yes, I mean, while I say that, it's a little, I would say, it's a little uncanny, when you are in a forum and you realize that people who are the custodians of manpower themselves do not have knowledge that something like this exists today. So I think it's a communication and the fact that it is available and seamless too, as compared to what it used to be 10, 15 years back, that needs to be, that whole communication machinery needs to be enhanced.
The pull effect is very, very important. So if there can be a placement coordinator, awareness is very important today. To that extent, the number of sector skill councils which are available across whatever skill what Abhishek was talking about is one example of those skills still that needs to be yet institutionalized and socialized, and people need to know. So that's one awareness that some of the relevant SMEs need to know about what are the skills that are available. And to that extent, if you want to call an apprentice advisor as a placement coordinator of a particular institute, which is capable of supplying such skills, those placement coordinators need to play a very important role to go and study the MSME, or SME organizations' requirement of manpower, and what are the challenges that they face, and what are the of capability or capacity to pay that they have. So those things need to be studied, and that's how a SME organization needs to be engaged first. So a role that needs to be played by an institute which is capable of supplying a particular skilled manpower, that needs to play an important role rather than one saying that the government organization should do this. So that's why I feel that this needs to be through a PPP program, private public partnership program, and also vocational education institutes which are training these students and which are capable of supplying these apprentices need to play a very key role in terms of educating the SMEs by customizing and understanding their specific issues.
HR people having a perception of whether apprenticeship program is useful or not. That's the I would say the subjective part of it. But the business leaders primarily do not want to look at it because for a medium-term company, the P&L really is very low. So their investments in terms of realizing that if I invest now, I'm going to get results much later, where these business leaders typically want results like yesterday. Investment and cost really becomes a very, very crucial aspect in terms of investing themselves in an apprenticeship program. However, having said that, if these organizations can actually leverage, see the apprehension that business leader typically would have is that, oh, I don't need to bring them on my rolls. The one good thing that government did, I think a couple of years back, 2-3 years back, is that this mandate of 2.5%, which was essentially earlier skill based, they opened it up as a common thing. So I think that one big change was adding advantage. Many medium term companies don't understand that. So if they can opt and bring that kind of awareness, that's one way to look at it. The other thing is absolutely where they could do tie-ups. They could tie up with companies like yours or smaller NGOs, or there are some very good skill development institutions where they could tie up and train them. I remember in one of the, even tie up with universities and colleges, where I remember in one of the organizations where we did is, we went to the academician, we told them that the last year of the education, we would want to compulsorily apprentice them. And we kind of invested in them. So they were on the college. They would get the normal stipend that government had, is as per the norms. And we invested their entire training in their last year of college. So by the time they were onboarded, they probably needed just 60 days of basic training in terms of making them understand the equipment, and that worked. But as an organization, because we had this need and we had to go and make that investment, we went ahead and did it. How many organizations would be voluntarily willing to do that? I have my own doubts. So, some of these things, if organizations can start looking at building, it will not only enhance our education system, but it will also enhance the skill development, which is also an issue in the country today.